values were hardened by the people who told us over and over again that there was no way we would succeed. Today, Theranos is using technology to help people every single day. People who never could afford care before are getting it. We're building low-cost diagnostics that will allow people everywhere to get comprehensive lab tests. And as more people get access to health information at the time it matters, more people will have the information they need at the time it matters to be able to take steps to live and live longer, healthier lives. Nobody should ever have to forgo a lab test just because she can't afford it. But cost is one of the most significant barriers that prevent people from getting lab tests done. I'll always remember the face of a pregnant woman who showed up at one of our wellness centers right after we opened, after she'd been turned away from the other places she'd gone because she couldn't afford the ability to get a test. And she was so scared that she was going to be turned away here too. When she saw the cost of her tests to know if her baby was okay would be a little more than the cost of a meal, the gratitude on her face struck my heart. No person should have to go through that fear. And by making the cost of testing so low that people who don't have very much income, let alone health insurance, can afford it, it becomes possible to engage individuals in the testing process in such a way in which they get the information they need at the time it matters. Our work is about bringing technology to those individuals in areas that are often the last to receive new advances. That, to me, is the power of technology. Especially in those rural areas and developing countries, leapfrogging over the lack of a basic healthcare infrastructure, providing actionable health information that can influence societal development, and in doing so, in turn, help lay the foundation for greater economic advancements. We've built our company on sheer will and hard work, on the belief that if you get a group of people together who are committed to making a difference in the world, no matter what, that there's nothing you can't do. No end game you can't find a path to, because you try 1,000 different ways until you make it work. I've always found failure and rejection can be used as an unbeatable fuel if you choose to use it. Behind our greatest fears are our greatest strengths. That will to work until you can barely see straight. That determination to keep going when all you want to do is take a break. That intensity that we can muster, especially when we think we can't. Technology's purpose is to change things for the better. And we're at an incredible moment in time where great change is possible. In healthcare, we can build a system that provides access to people everywhere. A system in which every person has access to the health information they need early in the disease progression process. A system in which fewer people have to say, if only I'd known sooner. And that system is being built by people who have the heart and drive and sense of purpose to change the world. I'm really looking forward to engaging with you and taking your questions. Thank you so much for having me here.
All right. Awesome. Brilliant. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Great.
Pleasure.
Wonderful.
So there are lots of questions already have come up, and and we're going to have some good time to ask you. So one question that's been coming up even before you came on the stage to talk to us, from many people wrote to me, says, does Elizabeth have a social life? Could you talk about that?
It's a very short answer. No, not at all. I don't think you can. I mean, so many of us in this room are so passionately, intensely involved in our startups or our companies, and to win, I really believe you have to give everything that you have in your life to it, and that makes it kind of hard to have a social life.
Okay. The other question is around your business life. You've been amazingly successful, brilliant. But the other one question has been coming up. How have you been able to get who is who from the whole wide world to be on your board and advisors, like Secretary Shultz, Secretary Henry Kissinger, Wesley Clark? I mean, the list just goes on and on. I mean, these are the people, every company, Fortune 10 companies will die to have these people on their board, and here you got them. So what was about you that made them attracted to you?
I don't think it's me. It's our mission and the pursuit of a cause that can make a difference in the world, make a difference in healthcare. I think one of the most amazing things about technology is that it's a tool for being able to help solve policy issues. And in our case, we have a mission that is about leveraging technology to realize early detection and prevention, and in doing so, change outcomes, and in doing so, dramatically change the cost of healthcare, which plays a huge role in our economy in this country. And these people who we've gotten involved in our company very much resonate with the social impact that this company can have and see it as a vehicle for realizing that change.
Wonderful. So speaking of cost, you talk about one of the lowest costs. Your website says the lowest cost of a test is like $150, and I think highest one is like for fertility test like $60. Yeah. So how do you, how do you get this cost so low?
Yeah, this is technology at its best, and for us also, I mean, we've been doing this for a while. I started this company 12 years ago, and we spent 10 years developing these chemistries, and we waited to launch our commercial retail infrastructure until we had invested and developed the technology enough to make the cost so low that we could, for example, I just went to Mexico and had the chance to meet with their health minister, and he told me that the prices on our website for technology we're manufacturing in Palo Alto would cut 75% of their cost structure. And the application of technology, in this case, in chemistry, in hardware systems that we've developed, can wipe out a lot of the overhead that's traditionally associated, in this case, with lab testing, which is what we've done.
So the other question is your wellness centers that you have. I think right now there are about less than 15 operations, 42 of them in Arizona, one Pennsylvania, and one in Palo Alto. So when do you think that you will cover the whole country? And when do you want to go abroad? I know you're in Mexico already with Carlos Slim, but when do you go to India and other countries?
This is a global mission, and it's central to our objective to be able to make a difference, especially for people who have nothing. And so the international aspects of this are what we've built this company to do it in a way that's scalable, in which we make an impact that is lasting. We believe, we think about it kind of like building a house. We've got to lay a foundation for that house that is incredibly strong, and then brick by brick, build upon it. So for us, that foundation is about picking a few locations in which we can provide incredible service and build our operations in a way that is scalable. we think about growth, we think about expansion, we think about being global in the context of every person that we serve one by one and being able to create an experience that's wonderful. And if we can do that and repeat it and maintain the quality of our service, we can scale this. So we're trying to not make the mistake that so many companies make, which is you go way too big, way too fast, and then you have problems. And that means person by person, literally. So Arizona, we've just begun operations in Pennsylvania. We're building our operations in California. Mexico, it's a 3.5-hour flight from Palo Alto, so it's an easy place to begin to create a model. But India is very much in our plans.
Okay, great. So, by the way, as you guys hear the answers, please continue to tweet. Please post your remarks on social media. I think, as I said, okay, this is an amazingly rare treat for us to feature Elizabeth on the IIT Global stage. And look how, just brilliant and how engaging she is. So, Elizabeth, this other question is coming from, since there's a lot of people from India over here, and you talk about in your talk, you had a very holistic, very philosophical view toward the world. And India, as you know, is rich in philosophy. So one of the questions that's coming up from a lot of people here is that India invented the Ayurvedic medicine, the alternative medicine. So any notions that you have, how you can maybe complement that with your discovery and your work, your wellness centers?
Yeah, I can probably give too long an answer to that. I'm vegan and test my blood all the time, looking at the changes that lifestyle factors and diet and related environmental factors can have on your blood. Personally, I think there's an incredible wealth of knowledge there, and I think that we need to remember that knowledge because we're living in a world right now in which 80% of our healthcare costs are affected by chronic diseases, and these diseases are lifestyle related. We're doing it to ourselves. And the amazing thing about this space that we're in, we got into lab testing because it drives so much of clinical decisions, and it's data. And you can see, if you take a certain action, what the effect is. And the effect of so many of these lifestyle factors on your blood and on your body can be quantified. And you can see that in the case of a disease like type 2 diabetes or heart disease, you can reverse it. And so I think that is an incredibly important area of healthcare and medicine. And I think the more that we can help to quantify the impact that it makes, because no one's really come out with data showing scientifically the power of it, that'll play a big role in the future.
So the next question is around data. Because through your work, you are collecting so much data. I mean, the vast amount of data. Any plans to use this data to do a disease prediction as opposed to just prevention?
Sure, I think prediction is a central part of prevention. Especially because so much of this is about providing people with information that they can use to change their own lives and take control of their own health. I think in healthcare specifically, the use of data is something that has to be very, very respectfully done. We believe that people own their own data, and we put on our website that we will never sell it, we will never advertise it on it, period. If people ask us to delete it, we will delete it completely every single time. And I think that's the foundation for being able to provide a service that people can actually use because they can trust it. But with that then, for them, individual by individual, the objective of collecting this information is to see not where you are, but where you'll go. And in doing that, be able to use these tools and techniques that can change outcomes, which is what our work is all about.
So one question has been posed around disruption. You have disrupted the whole diagnostic testing industry like never before. And your competition